A conversation is so much more than words. A conversation is eyes, smiles, the silences between words. Annika Thor. I still remember the day my baseball coach stopped by my house to pick up my uniform. I had quit the team out of frustration because I wasn't playing as much as I thought I should be. I had been successful at every level I had played and was the starting center fielder and leadoff hitter for our varsity team until an injury took me out of the lineup. I didn't want to quit, but as a 17-year-old kid, I lacked the social and emotional skills and maturity to work through this low point in my life on my own. After all, I was healthy again and felt I deserved to have my starting spot back. Instead, I watched game after game from the bench. My parents, who were angry about me not playing more, were not in the best place mentally or emotionally to help me work through my dilemma. Quitting seemed to be the easiest way out, and they didn't try to dissuade me. The doorbell rang, and I peered through the window to make sure it was him before I opened the door. I remember wishing that my coach would put his arm around me and tell me a story about him knowing how I felt because he, too, had been in a similar situation as a boy. I wanted him to tell me he understood why I was frustrated and then apologize for never talking to me about why I was no longer playing. I wanted him to tell me he wasn't going to let me quit. I wanted him to show me he cared about me, cared enough to tell me to keep my uniform, and that he would see me at practice that afternoon. But the words never came. Instead, he reached out and grabbed my uniform, shook his head, turned, and walked away. I was devastated. I went straight to my room and cried. Why wouldn't he just talk to me? I kept asking myself. It's been 32 years since that interaction took place on my front doorstep, but it still serves as an important reminder to me in my work as a school leader to not underestimate how critical it is to take time to talk to students and understand what they see, feel, and experience. I can honestly say that most of what I have learned from working with students has come from, you guessed it, talking with and listening to students. My experience working in schools during the past 25 years has taught me that most of the conversations had by adults in schools today are barely scratching the surface, or worse, come packaged with a tone that reflects an adult-centered culture. In many cases, we adults sometimes avoid interacting with students altogether, either because we are too busy, we are not sure what to say, or we're afraid of saying the wrong thing, just like my baseball coach did. This leaves students walking school hallways every day feeling invisible and wishing someone would just take the time to talk to them in a genuine and caring way. Consider this scenario as but one example.